Hey guys, my name is Manish Arora. Welcome to Urban Acharya. Today I'm going to talk about a specific case study. Now, this case study is about an interview that was going on so well, but in the last 5 minutes something happened and the candidate was rejected. This case study is also going to be a great example for all of you to learn a few specific lessons that you should take care of while you are going through the interview process. Stay tuned. So the story goes like this. A couple of years back, I was hiring for one of the critical roles in my team within my organization. And there were multiple candidates who had applied for that role. And there were multiple rounds of interviews. So out of so many people who had applied for that role, only 2 came through for the final face-to-face round. And I was conducting that final face-to-face round at that point in time. I clearly remember that in the first interview, a gentleman came and sat across me, facing me in my cabin. And he was an engineer. He had roughly 10 years of experience and he was working for one of the most prestigious MNCs in India. And the interview started so well. I still remember that it was a wonderful conversation. He was very articulate. He had a great communication skills. He was confident. He had the right attitude. He had the right knowledge. He had the right skill set that I was looking for. And in 30 minutes of conversation, I decided that he's the right fit for the role. I almost boiled down in selecting him. We had a great conversation. It was like the best interview for me. He demonstrated some amazing qualities. He had the right experience. He had worked with multiple great brands in his 10 years of experience. He had the right reason to look for a change. And then, in the last 5 minutes before closing the interview, I asked a very simple question to him, and the result was really stunning. It was a shocker for me. I asked him that you have done your engineering from a specific city that is mentioned in your CV. Can you tell me that if I were to visit that city, which are the 5 places that I should go and visit? You know what his answer was? He was quiet. He started floundering for answers. He was stammering. And there was an awkward pause for a few seconds. And then he said to me, "Sorry, I don't remember those places in that city." And I was really shocked because when you have spent 5 years in the city, you are bound to know something about the city, at least key places where you've spent some time. In this case, there was a clear blank no. And then when I started inquiring further, it took me just a few minutes to realize that his CV was fabricated. There was something in his CV that shouldn't have been there. And it was a big shocker for me. The candidate was rejected right away on the grounds of integrity issues. And there are 3 lessons that came out of that conversation that I want to share with all of you. That you should be very careful when you're applying for a job. You should be very careful about the nature of information in the documents that you're sharing with the organization. What I want to let you know that integrity issues are non-tolerable. No organization tolerates any integrity issue. Even if there's a faint indication of an integrity issue, you will be rejected. And the lessons that I'm going to share, please listen carefully and follow. Please do not ignore them. Number 1, don't make your CV appealing by means of fabrication. Don't mention information in your CV that you're not confident of. Don't mention false information in your CV. You'll be caught. If not during the interview process, post joining you will be caught. I have seen so many cases, so many people who joined the organization and then within 3 months' time they were asked to leave. They were blacklisted. There's a very stringent back-check verification process that happens either before you're joining or after you're joining in the first 3 months. It depends on the organization. But there is a very stringent back check verification process that you need to know, you need to understand you will be caught if there is a false information in your CV. Number 2, be very clear in terms of what you are mentioning in your CV. If there are things that you're not confident of, please remove that. Let's take an example that you have done a project 6-7 years back and you don't recall everything about that project, which is fairly normal. Don't mention that. Don't put that in your document. Try to avoid that. Nobody is interested in looking at 3 or 4 pages of your resume. Even a 1 page will be fine, 1.5 page. A succinct summary of your professional journey. Please take care of these things. And number 3, let's take a scenario where you forgot to remove something that you were not confident of and you are facing a specific question on that specific area during your interview. What will you do? My suggestion to you is gracefully apologize and mention that you don't recall much. You had done that project, but you don't recall much. You will come back to them with more information if they want, and be honest about it. Because that graceful honesty would definitely be much better than floundering for answers, keeping quiet, awkward pauses, or lying. These are the 3 lessons that you should remember while you are facing an interviewer or you're going through the whole process of recruitment, hiring interviews. And before I close this conversation, one small suggestion: keep integrity as number 1 in your list of priorities. Don't compromise on that. It backfires. If not now, at some point in time, it backfires. I've seen cases where people were asked to leave the organization after 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years, within 3 months' time. At some point in time, this back check verification will catch up with you if you are fabricating your documents. Please don't do that. Thank you so much, guys. I hope this video, this information, these lessons, this case study was useful for you, was helpful for you. Please follow the lessons that I've shared it with you. Don't ignore them. Maybe write it down and keep it with you. And if you are new to this channel, please do subscribe, share, and like. Thank you so much, guys. My name is Manish Arora. You're always welcome to Urban Acharya. And if you have any suggestions or feedback, please drop in our comment section. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.